Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another design with me. I'm going to be putting together the Fall Winston kit for y'all. I'm really excited to be showing y'all my process here because I did hand draw all of the artwork for this kit, and it was definitely a labor of love. It took me days to get this artwork done to my liking. And if you've been following me for a while, you may know I've had this kit in my shop before, and this is a huge revamp of it. I changed the color scheme, I changed almost every single box. I don't know why, but when I was looking back at the files, getting ready to re-upload them for this year, I just felt like we needed something different. So I decided to go whole hog, basically, and change everything. I redid the color scheme, and I really, really like it. I love the pop of orange, and you'll see me a little bit later working on this kit. I thought about incorporating more of the orange, but I feel like it's very bright, and I wasn't sure everyone would like it, so I kept it as a background color. But anyway, for those of you who may be new here, I do all of my drawing on Procreate, which is an app that I use on my iPad, and then I am putting together the stickers here in Silhouette Studio. I have the business version of Silhouette Studio, which is not free, but they do have a free version you can download from their website if you're interested in working with it yourself. So as you saw at the beginning of the video, I laid out all the files I'm going to be editing. I just merged in copies of the Coffee Winston kit to have the formatting ready. And what I'm doing right now is putting together the full boxes. If you see the patterns box over on the right side right there, I have several more boxes than I actually need. And I always try to do that because I'm very indecisive and I like having lots of options for what I want to, or what I could put into the kit. And you'll see me a couple times throughout this video flipping back and forth or taking a while to decide what I'm going to use. But one thing I tried to do in this kit more was incorporate several boxes with Winston, because I've gotten requests for the Winston kits to have more Winston in them, which I think is really funny. So I did that. I think I ended up with 4 full boxes with Winston in them. And right here, the last 2 full boxes were giving me trouble. I wasn't sure which colors I wanted them to be, and I wasn't sure which patterns I wanted either. So I spent some time scrolling around and then switching back and forth between a couple of patterns, and I also totally forgot that I had drawn the Cozy Winston box, which I'll remember about in a minute here. But right now I'm changing the color scheme for the ombre check boxes down below just to match the main colors in the kit right here. And again, I have 5 colors on my little sidebar color palette, but I decided to leave off the orange, which I think was a good choice. Okay, here I was looking back over my patterns and I remembered the Cozy Winston box, so I'm going to go in right now and put that in. I scrolled past it. Okay, there it is. Okay, now I'm going to adjust the scale a bit and sort of center it. And there we have it. I was super glad I did not forget that box because it's so cute. Okay, and here I think I was debating whether or not to change that plaid-ish box to the orange one, which I did not end up doing, thankfully. I didn't realize how much of this video was me. See, there I go. I thought I was going to make it orange, and then I decided it was too bright, and then I thought I might do this dark purple one again, or this orange one, but in the end I'm going to go back and make it the plaid one, so that was all really for nothing, but at least y'all got to get a little inside view of my thinking process. And here I'm just adjusting the pattern on the plaid box. I don't know, I felt like it needed to be moved around, so I moved it around a little bit. And now I'm just double checking to make sure everything, all the colors and everything changed properly. And here I was debating putting an orange as a main color, but again, I just feel like it's too bright and I was really worried people wouldn't like that color and that would keep them from buying the kit, so I left the more muted brown shade in, which I also really like. And I just decided to move on to the next page before I change things too much, because you know when you look at something too many times and you get kind of sick of it or you stop seeing it the way it actually is. Did not want that to happen. So here I'm moving on to the second part of the kit, which is the functional sheet along with the glitter headers and little labels. First thing I'm doing is setting up my glitter headers, and I do also design my glitter in Procreate. I'm not sure how many of y'all are interested in that process, but if anyone wants to see how I do it, I can make a video on it. I'm not sure if y'all are watching this to figure out how to make stickers or just because you like the inside view of my work, but yeah, you can let me know if you want to see how I make glitter and I will put that in a separate video. Now I am switching around the colors as I've said before, I have everything grouped together, so it's really simple. I just have to click one sticker and all the colors change, which is very convenient. For a long time, probably the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I designed stickers. I did not know how to do that, so I was going in and changing every single sticker one by one by one. It was a little bit much, but now I have it grouped together and it's much easier. Okay, there I was just double checking that I liked the first and second sheets. And now I'm going to move on to, and here I noticed that for some reason these 3 icons right there did not change. They stayed that darker shade of brown from the coffee kit. So really quickly, I'm just going through and making those the proper shade of brown. And once that's done, I'm going to move on to the 3rd page of the full kit, which is the final page. This is the boxes and labels along with the bottom washi and date covers page. The first thing I wanted to do was change the bottom washi because I feel like that really sets the tone for the kit. So I made this, I guess it's sort of like a rainbow ombre blended pattern at the bottom with all the colors in it. I really like how that turned out. And then I'm going to change the sidebar or side box over there, the last full box, and I did make this one orange because it's an auxiliary full box, so if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. But for those of us who like the orange, it's just a way you can pull it in if you are interested. Okay, now I'm changing the colors for the boxes and labels. Again, they're all grouped together, so I'm just clicking one and taking care of that. And there I almost went for orange, but I remembered that I'm not using it, so I use blue instead. The next thing I need to do is change the background on the date covers, and I decided to go with this lighter blue shade with the plaid pattern because I've had feedback before from people who say they prefer lighter date covers and darker washi to balance the spread more. So I try to stick with that as much as I can. I think it does look really good. And here I'm just adjusting the scale again to make the pattern a bit smaller. And that is it for the 3rd part of the kit. And here's all the sheets. Let me zoom you out so you can see them all. I think it came out really good. I love this kit, y'all. I cannot wait to use it. And by the way, this is already up in the shop by the time this video goes live, so if you want to get yourself a copy of this kit, it is available now, and the link to my shop is in my description bar. Okay, now I'm going to start designing the cousin version of this kit, because if you didn't know, in my shop we sell vertical kits that fit Happy Planners or Erin Condrens and things like that. We sell Hobonichi cousin kits and Hobonichi weeks, so I'm going to show you how I do all of them right now. The process is pretty similar. I always start with the vertical kit, and that one takes the longest because I'm debating which color scheme to use, which patterns to use, and so on. But the cousin one and the weeks one go pretty fast. So again, I started with the washi at the bottom, and then I'm going to change the colors around. And you'll see here I made another mistake when I was doing the colors. I made the last section orange, which I do catch it eventually, but I can't believe I kept doing that. I guess I just really wanted to use orange subconsciously. But I do think that the color scheme I chose works best for the kit. Okay, now I'm putting in the Hobonichi cousin size boxes. I love the boxes in this kit and the weeks kit because they're so tiny and cute. It's just adorable and really fun to use. And I am doing a majority of Winstons in this kit because it is the fall Winston kit, so I want it to live up to its name. But I couldn't resist including the blue pattern box with the leaves and pumpkins and things because I think it's really adorable. Okay, and here's where I'm going to go, right there. Okay, I started to go down to the second sheet, then I noticed that the boxes were orange when they should have been brown, so I fixed that really quick. And now I'm going to go down here and change the colors on all the functional items. I got confused here and was making things the same color as the first one that I changed, and I confused myself, so then I had to go through and switch everything back, and I think I got it right. At the end of this video, I am going to print and test cut everything, so whenever I do that, that's when I really look closely at what I've designed, and I make sure that A, I like how it looks and it's cohesive, and B, I check for any errors, because again, when you look at something for so long on a screen, things can kind of get weird and you don't realize what you're seeing or not seeing, if that makes any sense. So the printed copy is the one that I really use to determine if everything is correct. And I did have a couple of small errors that I ended up going back and correcting after I finished filming this, so I finished screen recording rather, and those misfits, because the errors were small, I just put those in my misfits pile. Okay, the cousin one is done. Now we're going to work on the weeks one. I'm starting with the date covers up at the top, and I'm going to make them blue, just like the other one. And I do like to make the text inside the date covers match the background. I think it looks really nice. Okay, here we're going to do one of the strips of washi. There are 2 sets in this kit. I call the thicker one the bottom washi, and I usually use the thinner one at the top if I use it at all, so that's just how I label them in my mind. Okay, and now I'm doing the large box, and I wanted to do it orange, and then I wasn't sure on the pattern that I wanted to use, so I'm going to change it again before, or I'm going to consider changing it again before this video is over, but in the meantime, I'm changing the washi strips on the first page and also doing the little boxes right here. Again, these are so tiny and cute and fun. The only problem I ran into was that my Procreate files were actually a little bit too large because the Procreate standard size board that I use is the size of a normal sheet of paper. So if I'm not careful, I can draw a bit too big on there, and then I have to do some resizing when I put my stickers in these small boxes for the Hobonichi weeks. So I have to be more careful next time. But most of them fit, especially all the Winstons, which I was really happy about, and the ones that I did have to alter, I don't think you can really tell. Okay, so here I'm trying to balance out the colors. Since there are 8 full boxes, I wanted to do 2 of each color, and this is actually the box, the purple one that I'm working on right now. This is the one where it was a little bit too big, and I had to shrink it down to I think 85 for the scale, which is way smaller than I would normally do. But I was just glad that it ended up fitting in total, so I didn't have to leave it off. And again, here I'm thinking about doing orange. I was just so hung up on this orange thing, I can't even believe it. I really should have taken out some of those parts where I just kept going for the orange. It's a little bit ridiculous. Okay, and now we're doing my last box, which is the little signpost one. I really like this one as well. I think it turned out super cute. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is start actually changing the colors of the functional items on the sheet. So I'm going to pull down my little color palette here. And this is where I realized that the Coffee Winston kit file is messed up, which I believe I've mentioned this on my channel before, but somehow I did not remember it when I was sitting down to film this video. And essentially the problem is either nothing is grouped together, or it is grouped, but it's only grouped 1 or 2 items instead of the whole shebang, or it's grouped to the wrong thing, meaning I'm making the wrong things the wrong color, and so on and so forth. I'm not sure if that makes any sense to people who don't use silhouettes to do a lot, but basically this file is messed up and I need to go back and fix it before I film any more of these videos, because it took me a lot longer than it really needed to get all this stuff sorted out. So as you can see here, the beige off-whitish boxes did not transfer, and I had to go in and get them individually. And then I don't know what I was doing here. I don't know why I went into the patterns box. I'm not sure what I was looking for there. Oh, I was going to change the box again. I cannot believe how indecisive I was in this video. But this is just the reality of my creative process. I'm not sure if other artists are this indecisive, but I second guess myself all the time. And maybe I shouldn't make myself so many extra patterns and boxes, but I just like having a variety. I don't know, it'd probably be easier if I just made the 8 patterns that I need, but I can't do it. I'm in the habit now of making myself way more than I need. Okay, now we're going back to the top sheet, and same thing as down below. These are not grouped properly, so I'm having to take hold of them one by one or a few at a time and make them the right color. So I'm doing that right here with the little headers, and then I'm going to do the weekend banner, which is so tiny and cute, definitely one of my favorite parts of this kit. And then I'm going to do the icons, which are probably the biggest issue because they're really tiny and it's super easy to grab the wrong thing when you're working with them, but I think I managed it okay. So this is the second video of this type I've done where I record my screen, and I was really surprised because the first one I ever posted got really good reviews and a lot of positive feedback. So if you enjoyed this one as well, please let me know. I can definitely film more of these in the future. I just can't believe that y'all like to watch me do my formatting and everything this way, because to me it's just very routine and mundane, but I guess it's interesting from the other side of the screen. Once that's done, I'm removing my color palette. I'm gonna go through and look at everything one last time before I send it to print, just to make sure I like it and it all looks cohesive together, as well as give you a view of how the kit looks. Okay, now it's printing time. I get a lot of questions on what type of printer I use. It's an Epson EcoTank. I have it linked in my description. And if you are going to be making a lot of stickers, I highly, highly recommend this. I could do a whole video on my printer, but if you have questions, you can leave them below. Once it's printed, it's going over to be cut. I use a silhouette portrait, and I did cut out all of the versions of the kit, so I will show this to you in a minute. I hope you like how this kit turned out and watching me design it. As always, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!